Hello, it's Alex. Welcome back to my channel. Here, as always, to talk about sewing. And as you can see, I'm in a slightly different location because I had a bit of a brainwave, really. I thought if I'm trying to escape the family, I could use this spot. And this is actually at the bottom of our garden. It's where my husband paints. We tend to call it the shed because it sounds a bit pretentious to call it an art studio, but basically it's a converted garage. And in fact, on the other side of this partition wall is my son's drum kit. They've tried to soundproof that, and Dave drums as well. So they drum here at the bottom of the garden in the hopes that it doesn't bother the neighbours too much. Anyway, thought this was a good spot and hope that I don't get interrupted by dogs, family. There is a train line that runs at the back, so hopefully the train won't go past. Anyway, where I left off last time was that I was going to use up all those fabrics that I've been saving for best, and I have really enjoyed doing that. I've made a start on it, but I'm going to have to pause it because somebody's drilling or something. Because finally my local area have got together a group of people to sew scrubs for the NHS and other carers that are working out there because there's a drastic shortage. And I'd been feeling a bit bad actually that I wasn't doing that, and I kept looking to see if my local hospital had requested any. Anyway, finally there's a group. I've got some fabric coming. I've ordered a load of fabric from B&M Fabric in Leeds because they are offering free delivery if you're making scrubs, which is brilliant and very generous of them. Fabric's £2 a metre, which seemed to be a good price as well. So until that comes, I'm dealing with donated fabrics, and I've currently got a couple of old sheets that people have donated that are I've pre-washed and they're drying on my washing line. So I thought I'd take the opportunity to come back and show you where I've got to while I'm waiting for that to dry. But then once I'm up and running, I'm going to be on scrubs for the foreseeable, I guess. Let me show you where I got to. I said that I was going to make this top from Burda magazine, and I had to change it because if you remember, the idea of it was, I mean, as you can see, it's a basic shell top, but the idea of it was that the neckband here was gathered, and I just couldn't get it to work. The pattern piece was basically, for the outer, for the gathered section, was basically a big strip cut on the bias. So you make up your interfaced neckband, and then you attach the bias strip to it, having gathers along the top edge. But because you've got sections of the neckband that are relatively flat, like here, and that's relatively straight, and then you've got sections of it like across the shoulders here that are quite curved, and it meant that the gathers were incredibly uneven, so I couldn't get much of a gather at all on the straight section, and then you've got an awful lot of gathering where you've got more of a curve, so it was incredibly uneven. Here comes the train. I knew that was going to happen. So in the end, I just gave up and just used it as a sort of straight, flat piece of fabric, which means that it's not particularly great in terms of the circle position, but it's fine, and it's possibly me just being a bit fussy. If I had more time, I could probably do something a little bit more creative with it, but would I wear it? Yes, I would. So I'm quite happy with it, and I think that will make a really good kind of everyday top sort of thing. I might throw a cardigan over if it's a bit colder, but I am pleased with it. It's just not what I was hoping for really, and I thought that neckline had the potential to be a bit more interesting. I think that top pattern piece with the gathers should probably have been cut on a curve, you know, a bit like you get with a ruffle, so the outer edge has more fabric to it than the inner edge. And I did have enough fabric left to make a camisole top, which I did, and here it is. I will definitely be wearing that quite a lot. I didn't use the ubiquitous Ogden cami from True Bias, I think, isn't it, the Ogden? Because I'm not wild about it. I have made a few of them. It doesn't have any darts, and I don't have, you know, a big bust at all. So it's not that I can necessarily need the darts, but what I find is that because it doesn't have darts, it kind of has this weird effect where all the fabric kind of pushes out at the front, and I just don't like the way it hangs. So I kind of wondered whether a darted version would be better. So what I did was I took the sewing pattern that I used from Style Arc for a nightie. I think it's called the camisole and nightie sewing pattern. There is a camisole version of it, although you could just cut it down. So I've made the nightie before, so I took that. I couldn't quite get my fabric to work because obviously I was limited to how much I had, to have the both the front and the back on the fold. So the back I had to cut as two pieces and sew it together. Look, you can see, but I think that's okay. I don't think that's particularly noticeable. And I also didn't have enough fabric to have the inside facings in the same fabric, which I think with these dots or spots probably wouldn't have worked because it's quite sheer, this fabric. Well, sheer is a bit of an exaggeration, but you can see through it. And I think having a plain colour underneath is probably better anyway. So yeah, I just used some plain white cotton lawn that I had left over. So I think I will use that a lot. Eventually, when I get back into the sewing room, I might make some, you know, you can make little kind of fabric loops that keep your bra strap in the, you know, with a little popper underneath, so the bra strap gets kept underneath the strap, because that's always the eternal problem, isn't it, with this kind of thing at this time of year. But overall, I really like it. I'm really happy with it. I'll definitely be wearing this a lot, I can imagine. So yeah, really pleased with that. The other thing I was going to make was the skirt from the Burda magazine with the band, and then falling away from that on the bias, which I did. I added 15 centimetres to the length. So that is hitting a bit above ankle length for me, or it will do once I've hemmed it. So because it's a bit chiffony, this fabric, I did a double layer for the band. I just felt it needed a little bit more weight to it, which I pretty much just overlocked. I think that looks okay. You know me, I like the inside to look nice, but I think that's fine. Can't believe someone's drilling or sanding or whatever they're doing. I haven't yet, as you can see, I've got my zip in. I haven't yet folded that over, but I just need to put a little stitch in there. And the other thing that I haven't yet done with it is hemmed it, because I've had it sitting on my tailor's dummy for a couple of days just to let it drop, to get that hem right. Anything on the bias, you always need to do that really, because it is looking a little handkerchief hem at the moment, which is not really what I was looking for. But with all this scrub making, I can't see me really adjusting that for the time being. But I am looking forward to doing it, because the tailor's dummy I got not that long ago from Lidl It was about £80, which is a really good price because it is adjustable, but it also has one of those hem marking tools on it, which I've not used before. So I thought this would be perfect to use that and see how that works. But that will have to wait for the time being. But, you know, I can see me swishing around in this in a pair of flip-flops as it gets warmer. And I had enough fabric left to make another camisole top. So I made another one with the same fabric. And again, I'll just wear that on its own under a cardigan or not if we get nice warm weather. And then I thought I can wear it with the skirt so you get that effect where it looks like you've got a dress. So I don't know, how does it look? Could I be wafting? Do you think I'll waft in the summer? Kind of feel like I should be wafting, arranging flowers or painting. Fact is, I won't be doing any of that. More likely to be emptying the bins or something. Anyway, static aside, it feels nice. I can't tell what it looks like. I'll have a look when I see this video back. So that's it for garment sewing for a little while. I'm going to be focusing on scrub making, for the foreseeable really. I'm getting my kids involved, so I'm going to make them commit to helping me for at least an hour a day, because I figure they could do some pressing, they could press pockets for me, and yeah, general bits and pieces. I'm sure I can get them involved, and you never know, I might turn them into sewists after this. We'll see. I really hope I do. Every now and then I ask them if they'd like me to teach them how to sew, but yeah, not showing any interest, unfortunately. So that's what I'll be doing for the next little while. I'm not sure when I'll be back. If anyone's got any recommendations for podcasts, things to watch, I've got my computer in my sewing room, so I can access Netflix or Amazon Prime, obviously any podcasts, just to keep me going. Anything really good I kind of save for when I'm not sewing, that I kind of want to sit and properly watch. But yeah, do let me know. I have watched Tiger King, of course. But yeah, and I'm not immune to a bit of rubbish reality TV. But then I also like a documentary. Anyway, anything that might kind of keep us going. Radio plays. I love Radio 4. I listen to Radio 4 all the time. So please let me know. And I will be back soon. And please, of course, everybody keep safe. And, you know, let's just keep our peckers up. Okay, speak to you soon. Bye.